I've been watching all of this MAGA meltdown about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that he spoke out against ICE at the Grammys. And after he did that, I made a whole long video about how proud I was to see more Americans, and Bad Bunny is a Puerto Rican, Puerto Ricans are Americans, seeing more Americans who have a platform, who have status, who have celebrity status in particular, actors, musicians, professional athletes, using their microphone, their access to the microphone, to speak out against the brutality of the Trump regime, against the murders that ICE is committing, against the ethnic cleansing that Stephen Miller and DHS are committing in this country. It is the least they can do with their massive reach as someone with celebrity status. And so when we see Bad Bunny being willing to use a public platform to speak out, I'm like, yes, thank you, more of this, yes. And that pisses MAGA off. It also pisses them off that I guess a Puerto Rican is going to be singing at the Super Bowl in the middle of an ethnic cleansing when MAGA and the Trump regime are dehumanizing anybody who is Latino as much as they possibly can, right? How many reports have we seen of people who are threatening to call ICE on their Latino neighbors who are American citizens? Just the overt racism, right? After the Kavanaugh stops got passed, where I guess federal agents can stop somebody just because they have an accent or because they're brown, that kind of overt racism has just escalated. And I'm sure MAGA wanted to see some lily white American singing at the Super Bowl, right? They wanted some right-winger, what's that dude whose music I don't listen to, Jelly Roll, who said, oh, I'm not political, except you've been photographed over and over and over with Kristi Noem and Donald Trump and Mike Johnson and MAGA events. You just say, I'm not political because you don't want to piss off all of your followers who are not racist fascists and don't support MAGA. You want to protect that dollar. I don't know why, Jelly Roll, you're not proud to be MAGA. You clearly support MAGA, but you're a fucking coward, right? And you want your money. So, and I know that MAGA is losing their minds because Jelly Roll is not performing at the Super Bowl. So they've created this alternate Super Bowl halftime show where Kid Rock is performing because they think he is all about family values. MAGA is the wholesome white Christian nationalist family values party. This is their Turning Point USA evangelical Christian alternative to Bad Bunny, who they think is whatever they think. Whatever racist shit is, churning around in their brains. Kid Rock is their all-American, wholesome family values Turning Point USA. Jesus is on our side guy.
You want me to get political? Well, this is about as deep as Kid Rock thinks. Monica Lewinsky is a fucking hoe, and Bill Clinton is a goddamn pimp. Now, a little message to all my motherfucking beautiful people in the house. The early morning stone pimp, I'm gonna break it down and let you know what I think it's all about. Next time somebody comes up to you, they wanna argue, fight, scream, and shout, just look the motherfucker dead in the eyes and simply tell them, you want my balls in your mouth.
Wow, that really matches your wholesome Christian family values branding, doesn't it, TPUSA? But if we think back to Kid Rock's 2001 song, Cool Daddy Cool, I guess it really does make an awful lot of sense to have him headline TPUSA's alternate Super Bowl halftime show. Because Republicans, MAGA, they're the party of PDF files and PDF file protectors. So it makes sense. It makes sense to me to have a guy be their main event whose song says, on my cell phone, I'm paid G, can't call me, just page me. Young ladies, I like 'em underage, see? Some say that's Saturday, but I say it's mandatory. My story ain't that complex. 2 40s and a Rolex. Young ladies, I like 'em underage. Yeah, okay, maybe it is on brand for MAGA to have Kid Rock. Of course, the response from people on social media is, what's up, Kid Rock? You like 'em young? Is your name in the files too? So according to CBS 19 News, a lot of internet users are asking, how is it that any of that from Kid Rock exemplifies TPUSA's values and the theme of their halftime show, which is celebrate faith, family, and freedom. In that clip from Kid Rock, did any of that seem like it was family appropriate? Whose faith is it that supports adult men abusing underage girls? And can we just stop using the term underage girls? All girls are underage. Girls are children. Children can't consent. Adult men being into children, that's vile. That's not normal. That's a crime. But again, on brand for MAGA, the party of PDF file protectors. And by the way, speaking of family values and TPUSA, I know there's been a lot of rumors. I had people in my comments talking about it. A lot of rumors over the last 48 hours about Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk, and that the rumor basically goes that Charlie wrote Erica out of his will, and that's why she's been working so hard to take over TPUSA, appearing to not grieve or be devastated at the loss of her husband's life at all, but instead positioning herself very quickly to take over his media empire. I only feel compelled to mention it because I had several people in my comments who were like, did you see that this was a thing? And I haven't actually found a single credible source. Guys, both the Hindustan Times and the Economic Times get quoted to me frequently as sources of information. Those are not credible sources. You can't cite a non-credible publication that says Charlie Kirk removed Erica Kirk from will after alleged affair, viral posts claim. And then they go on to say rumor explained. That's not evidence. So I have no love for TPUSA, but I want to make sure that we are being accurate in our information. And I understand that people would love for that to be true, but we don't have any credible reporting at this point to that fact. But we have a lot of credible reporting that TPUSA is platforming somebody who sings about how he is an adult man is into children, that they think Kid Rock exemplifies family values and faith, Christian faith, and they want him for their family-oriented halftime show, and yet Bad Bunny is somehow unacceptable. They're real big mad about him performing. Again, because they're upset that he spoke factually at the Grammys about ICE. It wasn't even that strong of a statement, y'all. It was a good statement. Don't get me wrong. And I'm well aware of the fact that also they're big mad that he's Puerto Rican. And it's been interesting to watch Fox News and conservative media over the last day or so referring to him over and over again as Puerto Rican, which is great, right? He should be proud of being Puerto Rican, but they're trying to make it sound like he's not an American. Puerto Ricans are Americans. Puerto Ricans are Americans. Speaking out against injustice, that's entirely American. Criticizing your government, that is an entirely American action. That is a constitutionally protected right, a time-honored tradition in the United States. One could argue that Bad Bunny performing in this moment, even if he hadn't won his Grammy Award, would be the most appropriate choice considering the way he has spoken out and the entirely American actions that he has taken over the last week. You don't even have to like his music to be like, oh, that's a great choice. Super Bowl Americana, exercising your First Amendment rights, entirely American. Puerto Ricans, entirely American. Meanwhile, MAGA continues to embrace their identity as PDF files and PDF file protectors.